Welcome to the kids' table, where the conversation is about fitness, but the maturity level is questionable.
The one and only Gunnar Peterson.
Then you've got Luke Milton, and then there's me.
Weird if you do your own intro. Ladies and gentlemen, Jen Wiederstruck.
So pull up a chair as we talk fitness, the business of fitness, and give a voice to trainers everywhere.
It's informative, it's inspiring, it's where everybody wants to be. This is the kids' table. Today's episode is powered by Yeti and Train Heroic, the go-to platform for the go-to coaches and trainers.
Let's tee this up. Garth Bouldin, who has Gateway Tire right next to the gym. And he's been, honestly, since I moved here, such a solid neighbor, but more importantly, a solid friend and a solid human being. And as you get older, you realize there are a lot less of those than you think. So to me, Garth is a 10 of 10. And you know, I wouldn't have him here. I wouldn't have asked him to be here if I didn't think that. The first day I walked up to the property, when our contractor was there, he was standing outside talking to Garth. I guess they had known each other from, you knew his father. And you can tell me your side of the story. But as I walked up, the first thing he says to me is, "I've got a bone to pick with you." And I was like, oh shit, there goes Southern Hospitality. I said, "What's that?" And he said, "I wanted this property." And I go, "Should have fucking paid more, Garth." And I walked back and he was like,
Well, you did introduce yourself as the asshole who
right.
outbid us.
"Oh, that's right." That might have been
And
the start.
that set the tone right there to where I'm like, okay, it's on. So I knew then I could be for real.
100%.
I didn't have to dodge any bullets. Yeah. I'd like, all right, let's just go for it. And let's go straight at it.
And he had a couple of, because their business, they fix everybody's car in town. But more importantly, in my view, they fix the vehicles of the municipality, like the school buses, the fire engines, the ambulances, the police, all this stuff. So in our driveway, he had parked like a school bus and an ambulance. And after that brief encounter, he goes, "I'll get these buses moved." I go, "You're fine." And he goes, "Well, when you start running your business, you'll have to move them." We have, as you guys have seen, a wide enough driveway where I just have to have an ingress and an egress, right? It's not a 2-lane highway. I go, "You could leave me." He goes, you don't care if I move them? Like when you're business? I said, "I don't care. I actually like it." And he goes, "Why would you do that?" And I said, "Because that's neighborly and that's how I want to be." And he goes, "All right, I appreciate that." Since then, he's helped me with cars. He's helped clients' cars. I mean, to the point where he'll get a client's car who has a flat tire while they're working out, get it changed and fixed and returned up there. You can't get service like that. Forget here, anywhere. People just don't do that. And it's been a huge asset. Like I tell trainers all the time, yes, your training is important. Yes, your bedside manner is important. And after that, if you're going concentric rings, one of the things that's important is the relationships you have in your world, health and fitness, but also outside that. I have referred clients to contractors, pool guys, OBGYNs, pediatricians, schools. The more you can assist and be of service, the better you are at your job as a trainer. He's helped a ton of the clients at the gym. So to me, it's a fun symbiotic relationship. But he's always in a good mood, but just a little cranky. But that's a put on. But it's but it's great. It's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, Garth.
Well, welcome, Garth, and condolences for being next to this guy.
Thank you very much. That's the exact way to put it. Condolences. But to Gunnar's credit, he has been a terrific neighbor. I mean, a lot of people ask me in particular, about expansion. Well, we're sort of landlocked now. And the discussion comes up about the old emission center that Gunnar purchased. And I'm like, we didn't get it, but two things. I couldn't ask for a better neighbor. And he's also become a very good friend. Now, do I think he's a little weird? Yeah, he's weird.
Wait, we have a funny thing. In our cul-de-sac, which has an HOA, I guess they vote on shit. Not that I care. But
they do. Trust me. I got something from them today, as a matter of fact.
So there are 5 businesses. There are 4 businesses, but because of the size of his property being larger than the others, he gets 2 votes. So he said to me once, because we're aligned, they can never pass anything that we don't agree on. And I was like, that's some strategic shit right there. But it's
very
fun.
Game of Thrones of you.
That's old school.
Yeah,
that's old school.
That's very Machiavellian.
Yeah, but funny that he was like, he thought of that. I didn't think of that. And I was like, oh my God, that's true. So whenever anything comes up, I go, Garth, he goes, you can have my proxy all day. I could care less about anything. I just want what's behind my gates. I don't care what's in front. So I just want to be able to run the gym.
People do business with people. Mm-hmm. I don't care that Gunnar is Gunnar. I don't care if you guys are the greatest trainers in the world. If I choose to work out with you or have a relationship with you, you're doing business with a person, and it becomes about relationships. And everything that I do, it's about relationships. And you exclude the money out of everything, but at the end of the day, if somebody, the way I was brought up, if I tell you that I got it, I'm gonna take care of it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to tell me again. I got it. Now, it may not be exactly in the time frame you want, because Gunnar is the master of impatient. But
you do know Gunnar.
I mean, let's write a book. Where do you want to start?
I think you touched on something really important. I think we're starting to see social constructs come back to what you're talking about customer service. And it sounds so simple in its essence, but it's so rare these days. To be a man or a woman of your word and actually follow through is a rarity that's actually very attractive now. And you've said this word relationships, which we've spoken about a million times. And we've already said within the first 5 minutes, probably 10 times relationships. And a real business is one that differentiates transactions into relationships. And I think that it's a really big part for people to understand as they're listening to this, whether you're, at the height of the fitness world and you're training high profile people, whether you are running commercial group fitness studios, whether you're, again, at the height of the fitness thing, whether you're servicing cars and getting people back on the road so they can go and make a living, and the importance of that. It all comes down to relationships. There's this common thread of success or serving people that all actually has quite simplistic values.
At the end of the day, time is precious. And, the amount of time that you have someone waiting, that's less time that they have maybe to spend with their family or whatever, or to their job. And when you're dealing with commercial accounts, you have to learn very early on that company is paying someone to sit and wait on their vehicle. And so you're costing someone money if their employee is sitting in your waiting area. And so you've got to be mindset of that. And you've got to put your foot on, or your shoe on the other person's foot, and say, okay, how do I address this? Mm-hmm. And then it becomes a balancing act, truthfully, of how you treat different, customers in that nature, commercial accounts versus regular walk-in customers. But, as long as you're personable and you're honest and you communicate properly, then you can lay your head on your pillow and you can go to sleep.
We're on a cul-de-sac, as you guys know, and he had a school bus, a fire truck, and an ambulance lined up. And whoever's training for me goes, there's a cop car. I go, Garth's probably working on it. And they go, no, it's driving. And it was a cop circling because somebody in the neighborhood had called because he was blocking something in the cul-de-sac. And I'm like, he's not blocking it because he doesn't care. His lot is completely full. And he's servicing the vehicles that I want the school bus to have good brakes, right? I want the fire truck to be reliable. I want the ambulance. I want the sirens to work and everything, because those are God forbid whoever called and complained has a kid on a school bus that doesn't work well or needs an ambulance or has a fire. He's not just servicing people's hot rods. He's doing...
but it's also the way he does it, and you're the same way. And we all have been jumping around conversations, and whenever we're coming up to a podcast, we're kind of like, what do we want to talk about? What's kind of coming up for us? What's on our mind? And you kept going back to Gunnar, this levity that comes with the way you train and how you go about those sessions. And I think it's the first thing you said, Garth, it was about people do business with people. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that could train my clients in LA. There's a lot of people that could I'm sure your clients could take their cars and vehicles to get fixed.
They can do business with anybody.
Yeah, they come to you for a reason. They work with Gunnar and Luke for a reason. So there's something exciting in that no matter what you do, it's who you bring. Yes, it's customer service, but is it more about character, or is it more about the way people feel when they leave your side? Like there's something more intangible in all of that I think that is why Gunnar was like, Garth has got to be on our podcast. Like, you just got to meet him. The world needs to know Garth. Yeah. And that's a you thing, not like a vehicle fixing thing.
Yeah. Nothing to do with the vehicles. Whatever business he would be in or could be in, you'd go, that's the kind of guy you want to do business with. Right. If he had a restaurant, that would be like, you guys coming to town, I'd say, let's go over to Garth's.
Yeah, but we should talk about that. I mean, the levity you bring in your sessions, how much do you think people are coming for the actual sets and reps, and how much are they coming for you and what you bring?
I think in the beginning they come for the sets, and we just talked about this last night. Myers talked about it with Brett Bartholomew. In the beginning, you go for the X's and O's, for the sets and reps, for the tires and the brakes, but you come back the second time because of the person. I think they come back. I think once they are comfortable and convinced, and you have buy-in that they know what you're doing, that they know that you are handling this, then they come because of you. That's, I used to joke in LA and say they came because of my parking, only partly joking, because in LA parking is so coveted, right? Yeah. But because my parking in LA was so easy, comparatively speaking, that makes it a draw, right? It makes it an easy, they go, yeah, I should go back to that. But they do come, I want to believe they come because they leave better. We have a sign above the door at the gym that says you got better today. And I believe that. And I believe that applies not just to the people training, but also to the trainers. Even if the trainers didn't work out, which they should, that's another topic. You get better because you become better at your craft. You become better as a human being. You become better as a communicator, and you leave more evolved that day.
I think there's an attraction to caring. I think people are attracted to people who care about them. And I think that authenticity piece, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, a business, whatever it may be, it's the same thing, or it's just different ingredients or different outcomes. So I think that's when you meet someone that's genuine, someone that actually cares about you. You just said it in the first bit. You actually care about being a man of your word. And if you say something's getting done, you don't need to double check on me. I'm not a 6-year-old kid. Like, I'll get it done because I said I'll get it done. I think that is a real attraction in the world right now. What I'm curious about is, when did we lose it, and when did it become attractive again? Oh, yeah. That's the part for me.
Well, at some point, we as a society had to say enough is enough. I mean, to circle back around to a question that you asked was the podcast and Gunnar. When I first met Gunnar, there was an obvious curiosity of, man, he's got all of these jerseys, he's got all of these photos and everything. And it became about a wow factor there. And then as time moved on, I began to trust Gunnar. I had some health issues that I went through, and I could confide into Gunnar and him give me the advice and help that I needed. And quite honestly, that's why I started working out with Gunnar at Gunnar's gym with his staff, was because of a health issue. And I'm trying to get strengthened back from that, and it's working. But early on, it was because Gunnar's Gunnar. If you don't know Gunnar, you get caught up in all the hoopla of, all of his resume of who he's worked out with and all of that. But at the end of the day, he helped me, and I could go to him and ask him, hey, what about this? And he helped me. So it became a trust factor. When did we lose all of that? It was lost in a few things. First thing is, I said this a minute ago, value for time. Everybody's in a hurry. When everybody becomes in a hurry and the finances tighten up, then you forget about everything else. So the passion for a family began to diminish because of time and money. And that's where a lot of that was lost, of being able to teach the young people as they grow up. And that's quite honestly, why I got involved in some of the things that I sponsor and some of the things that I do with athletics is because next to a parent, a coach is the most honorable, trustworthy person that is supposed to be in a young person's life.
And potentially influential.
Correct. That's right. And that's coming back around. I mean, you can put a spin on so many different things, the NIL and pro sports and all that. But at the end of the day, it's got to get back to the basics. And the basics are how we treat one another and how we respect one another. We get back there, we've come a long ways as a society.
I think a lot of problems would be solved if people understood what you just said then. I really do. I think that the simplicity in life of doing the right thing as often as you can do it and caring about others, love thy neighbor. If we could do that, I don't think we would have half of the problems we've got.
Why do you think people don't do it? Because they don't understand it?
I believe that there is a misunderstanding in what happiness, fulfillment, success looks like. I think that exactly what Garth just said, this misrepresentation that money solves everything or that money buys your time back. And I've got this saying that I said before, don't lose your happiness chasing your happiness. That means that go back to those standard values that have withstood decades, centuries of time. Love the family, have a central family unit, be a good person, help people when you can help people. If you want to be of faith, be of faith, love your country. All of these things now have been bastardized or some way, shape or form. And I don't want to take us down a political thing or anything like that.
We won't go.
Yeah, but
no, we're not going to go there.
Well, I just think that like what you just said is so simple, but so hard for people to understand. It's like that's where we lost track of it from trying to keep up with the Joneses. And now with our phones, we compare ourselves to everyone else. Gunnar's got a such and such.
It's because that behavior is not rewarded.
Sorry, say that again.
That behavior is not rewarded. To have a value system of the way we treat people, what everything God said, there's no reward for that. That's tangible. It doesn't come in likes. It doesn't come in follows. It doesn't come in attention.
Yeah, it comes from the inside.
Well, you know that, and I know that, and generationally, I do think it is coming back. Like Garth said, but there's a lot that's missing. People don't feel that, so they don't pursue it.
But Garth said something. He said the finances. When the finances get tight, people forget about everything else and the focus on the finances because ultimately that's survival, which speaks to scarcity mentality, right?
Yep.
So when people have that mentality, then you become what Brett talked about, fear-based. Everything you do is based on your fear of not succeeding, or I mean, you can get dramatic about it, say like starving or failing or being evicted or whatever your fear is. And because you have that fear, you lose sight of the common courtesies, the bond, the friendship, you see it every time and you go, it's that thing of you don't know what someone's going through. Be kind to people. You don't know what someone's going through. Yeah. But just because you're going through that doesn't mean you can be an asshole. It doesn't give you the right to treat someone poorly. If you come back to treat that person the way you want to be treated, and even if you're going through something tough, suck it up. Don't put your struggle on someone else. Be kind, watch what comes back to you. That might help you out of that struggle.
Well, I mean, without a doubt it does. And you're living proof of that. And I think all of us are hard. That's why we're such evangelists for it. I just think that as I'm listening, I think that restorative nature of behavior like that, the way it reinvests back into you is what has gotten us this far in our careers equally. Because it's not always about harvesting at work. It's like about like, oh, I got a new contract or I've got a new client or I've got a new whatever. There's so much downtime in between the next big thing and when things play out or big events in our lives or like the next big grand opening. Sometimes it's just a Tuesday. Some months are just months. And the thing that keeps me on my feet is this self-fulfilling restorative process by like giving and the exchange of that you just talked about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's such an undercurrent that keeps me on my feet that I don't think I really thought about till right now.
Well, you said it, and I reference back to some of the things that have been said. So you don't see likes. You don't see it on social media and so forth, but it's what you view your self-worth as. Mm-hmm. Do you see your self-worth as monetarily, or do you see how you're helping others or the influence that you're making on others? I was asked this many, many years ago, and I didn't know how to answer this. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like this guy very, very much, but he asked me a question that I never have forgotten. He asked me, what will your legacy be when you're gone?
I sold a shit ton of tires.
And I didn't know how to answer that question. But as I moved forward and as I got older, I realized it's not about selling tires. It's not about the property that I have and the things that I have in possessions. It's how you're viewed from others, because we're not doing what we do for our health. Now, Gunnar, you guys are, but I'm not. You know, hard work has never really killed anyone per se. Yeah, I mean, you could say that it has, but the mental aspect of it is the root of so many evils that it drives so many. It drives people to do so many different things, and that's where I'd say we're not doing this for our health, because if we were doing that, we'd be fishing, we'd be doing whatever. But we have to do it because that is survival. You have to have, you've got to have money to be able to survive in today's world. And, certainly if you want to get somewhere, you've got to have money. So that's why we do it. But it's all about self-worth there, how you view that.
Why? So why don't people...
You ask a lot of why questions.
Because I'm a curious person. Why don't people then, when they get to that point, and I'm assuming a lot of people are at this point, then pull the ripcord and leave? Why are we always chasing something else? Why don't we get to that number and leave? Why don't we... What is it that is driving you to keep going? Why not just sell the tire shop tomorrow, sell the assets you got, go live on a pond somewhere, fish, spend time in fulfillment of your family?
Because our wives push us with their shopping.
I know you're being half smart there. Like, no.
That's a whole nother conversation right there that we...
So stick with the other side of it. Because I have an idea of where I'd want to go.
It's a question for everyone.
When would anyone cash out and just say, I've had enough?
Oh, I know.
Exactly. And say, I've had enough. I'm going to go, live like Grizzly Adams back from our days. Y'all are probably too young for Grizzly Adams, but why not do that? I can't answer that one. I don't have that in my DNA to do that.
I like going somewhere every day. Like, don't
you got to have a purpose when you wake up? Because if you don't have a purpose, then what are we living for?
I feel
we all have there's a book out, A Purpose-Driven Life, and we've all got to have a purpose.
I'm sorry for stepping on you there. I feel like one of the most down times in my life, the saddest I felt, was within a few weeks after graduating college. And it was because I couldn't figure it out right at the moment, but I was in my last year at University of Kansas. And when someone said, Jen, what are you up to? What's going on in your life? And I'm like, well, I'm a Division I hammer thrower. I'm a captain of the track and field team. I'm competing at nationals in a few weeks. I'm working on my degree in sports administration. And I go on and on with a list of things I'm doing and things I'm working on. And it made me feel really exciting to have that much purpose and identity tied to like who I was. And 2 weeks later, I've graduated, nationals are over, and I'm living back in my hometown bartending. And someone says, Jen, what are you up to now?
You're like, I'm a fucking loser.
Correct. And by the way,
we talked about it. That's why I didn't want to jump ahead of the answer, but I know that's how you felt, and it's crazy.
I'm like, oh, but now I'm just working in my hometown at a bar. shit. Like, and it was this drastic shift in like getting up and having a big day and a real purpose and people that depended on me and my work output. And because of that, like I wasn't getting to the gym. I wasn't training towards something. I didn't have this feeling of accomplishment and there was no built-in accountability into what my days were like. So they started to melt together. And I just realized so much of it, my identity was tied to what I was working towards. And I had to build a new vision. And it took me some time to really understand what was going on and what that was. But like, I like being busy. I like, this sounds like contradictory. I like complaining about a busy week. I like about being short on sleep. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, fucking strapped this week, but that's cool. Like, I don't know. It took time for me to understand that about my personality. So I think part of answering that question is you have to just know yourself more. Mm-hmm. I know I want to get up and go somewhere. I know that that's exciting for me. I know I like meeting people. I like those touch points. Even my dad, he'll be 80 really soon, and he'll still go to the club and trains like 6 to 8 client hours the whole week. I thought
you meant at night.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
Norm Gunnar, that's you.
No, Norm would so go to the club, by the way. But no, the health club. And he goes, 40 touches, Jennifer. I make 40 touches every time I'm in the gym. And he's like, hey, what's up? Hey, nice job. I see that's, so he tries to connect with people and that's my dad. And I'm like, oh, that's where I get it from. We like that idea of like pollinating conversations and being a part of people's days and stuff.
That's what he wakes up for.
Yeah.
Is that 2 words, what's next, leads to a lot of depression. Mm-hmm. What's next?
It's actually 3. It's what is next.
Well, whatever.
It's a contraction.
I got this.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. You overly educated numbskull.
Thank you. Thank you. No, but
yeah, what is next? That's a rough one for a lot of people. But what you said about getting up and having a purpose, the purpose could be get up, go fishing. That's a lot
of people do that.
That's not,
and they live a lot longer than a lot of people do.
Yes, that's not a purpose. That's a purpose. That's a different, like
I call that a passion.
Sure, but your passion can become your purpose. My workout shit, I wake up, I don't care if it's Christmas morning or Sunday or anniversary, it's 4. I'm like, I'm up, let's go. And I just want to go to the gym and do shit. What's your plan for today? I don't know. I'm winging it, but I'm doing it by feel. This feels good. I'm going to do more. This feels really good. I'm going to double down. Maybe not as much on the work side. Maybe I would pull back on that. I don't know when I get to that point or that age or that number. I don't know. But I always want to have that purpose. I am like, sometimes we'll stay home. It's rare, but my wife will say, hey, we have nothing on Sunday. We don't have soccer. We don't have basketball. We don't have anything. So stay in. So I'll be there and I'll be like this. What are we doing? We're having breakfast. And I go, fuck breakfast now. It's 7:00. Should have had breakfast 2 hours ago, you losers. Like, get up, let's go. And then they had breakfast. I'm like, all right, now what are we doing? Like, what do you mean we're doing? We just had breakfast. I know. And now let's do some shit. I can't just sit. And then people, well, you should be comfortable with yourself. And that's you. You need to quiet your mind. You need to breathe. Okay. I'm doing what I can. I like to do stuff. To me, there's so much stuff in the world. My mom used to say, only the boring are bored. There's so much stuff I want to do. Even if it's not something interesting to you, it could be clean out my t-shirts. It could be go out in the shed, pull everything out, sweep it, put it all back in. It could be go to the gym. It could be paint a room, whatever it is. I just don't want to have nothing on the docket because to me, and I've said this to my wife, I feel like I'm on the clock.
Is it okay if it's not productive time? Like
I can make anything. Give me an example and I'll tell you why to me that's productive.
Like to me, productive. I'm fishing to catch dinner for my family, fishing just to throw it back.
100%. If my son wants to go shoot baskets or my daughter wants to go and draw chalk stuff in the driveway.
It's still doing shit.
That's productive. Okay, yeah. So, but I'm like this. Okay, but we're going out there for 45 minutes and then we're going to...
I was waiting on that. That's a psychological problem.
100%.
Yeah, we actually are aware of that.
It's a psychological problem.
But I own it. I used to have, you should have read my schedule back in the day. It would say, 3:15 up, 3:40 finish, shower, leave house. Like I had but I love the process of back in the day on paper, drawing a line through.
I still
I'm
do
like,
it.
fucking done.
Yeah.
Now I just delete and my stuff on the day goes do.
Yeah.
That's that feeling of accomplishment. But I'm not going to apologize for that. If that keeps me going forward, my dad also used to say, don't mistake movement for achievement. Just because you're moving doesn't mean you're really doing anything. But to me, the movement means I'm more likely to get something done. Sitting still, not so much. Todd Durkin, trainer in San Diego, shout out Todd Durkin, talks about blue sky time, when you sit and do nothing and just think and let your brain go. I do that on my drives.
Yeah.
I don't even turn on the radio. The fact that I used to buy extra special car stereos, what an idiot I was. All I do is listen to the car and think now.
It's interesting. Oh, you have a thought there?
No, I just think it's a great point, but the show notes have to have only boring people get bored.
That was my mom. Only the boring are bored. And my dad is don't mistake movement for achievement.
Listen, if you're still training with the plastic shaker bottle from 2012, it's time for you to upgrade. The Yeti Rambler with the chug cap. It's built like a tank, keeps ice all day, and doesn't leak all over your gym bag. It's light, yet it's durable. I know wherever I go, it goes, whether it's holding my tequila, my water, my protein shake, or whatever else I decide to put in there. Grab one and stop making hydration harder than it needs to be. Go to yeti.com. Get in, get out, get going. I'm smiling as I'm listening to you because I was given a piece of advice recently that kind of rocked me, and I haven't had that in a while, and I started taking, I think you guys know, I played string bass, like double bass as a kid, like starting in 6th grade. My father played it. We have a very musical family, so I wanted
super feminine.
Super fun. And so I played.
He's only jealous because he doesn't know how to play a musical instrument.
Who's that? There's a super famous.
Yes.
Sorry.
No.
I'm deviating. But, Candy Dulfer, I think was her name. Will you look her up? I want to say she was a saxophonist.
Can I just point out that Gunnar looked at me, pointed, and said no?
Yeah. I almost said
Equality.
Stay. But
Treat.
Wow. Candy Dulfer, right? So to me, that's that juxtaposition, right? That's that super hot woman driving a big man truck or wearing a big man's watch or playing a man's instrument like that. Seeing that crossover, that works better for women crossing over that way, in my mind, than men going the other way.
Well, what's an example of the other way?
This is going to be good.
Yeah, like let him answer.
You just set this up to be.
Yeah, Luke, dude.
You crossing your legs. That does not work for me. Your hairy ass legs and your high shorts crossing over like that.
I keep looking over at Garth looking down.
The amount of heat between the thighs with the hair and it's just got to be out of control.
Out of control, right?
Out of control.
You can start a brush fire.
Exactly my worry right now. Thank God it's been raining today.
What do you want him to put on? Neat?
Anything.
Thanks, Garth.
But how about pants?
Well,
he is wearing pants, actually. Hair
Slapping
pants.
God in the face.
Yep.
It's cool. There's not many men left in this world, Gunnar, that stems.
So you becoming a ballet dancer would be the alternate.
Not that doesn't work.
No,
I'm
of
just
course.
saying,
That's
to me,
hard.
there's something innately cool about a woman who moves over. So go back to you, double string bass.
So I played throughout junior high and through high school, and I ended up stopping. It's just a very difficult instrument to carry on later in life because the instruments are expensive, whatever. So in the last 6 months,
7 feet tall and weighs 230
it's very
pounds.
expensive, and I was going to college. So I decided I really wanted to start playing music again. And actually, Coy Bowles, a couple years ago, had sent me like a keyboard to try to play.
I thought he was
sending me like a Christmas card, by the way. He sends me a full keyboard. Love you, Coy. And I never stuck to it. So anyway, I started taking bass lessons again. And I have a coach that comes every week, and his name's Carrie. Love you, Carrie. And I started feeling foolish. And I was talking to my friend who's a writer, and I go, I just feel like I'm wasting my time. You know what I mean? And I go, this is like so stupid. I'm literally playing scales and I've got one Elvis song under my belt. I'm like, why am I even wasting the time? And part of it is like, I was feeling this resistance and like nervous about learning and feeling stupid and my hands were so weak and I was very rattly. And Kobe just says, Jen, just keep playing and you'll find out what it's for. And it was
Colby from Biggest Loser?
No, but
didn't you have a Colby, one of your contestants?
Colby, and this is Kobe. But yes,
okay.
Colby says hi, by the way. I texted with him earlier. He loves you.
I don't know why.
Well, he only met him for one hour. 1 hour
that would have great time.
That would
Yeah.
explain a false fascination right there.
He was one of
great
her contestants on Losers. She brought her to the gym. I had so much fun with that dude. What? Hey.
I had a great time.
You're welcome. Customer service.
But it was, and that's the end of our show. But like that statement, I kept having to qualify. Why am I doing things? Why am I spending time on this? Why am I find out what it's for? Usually I don't invest in something or find it being productive. That's why I was pushing you on what qualifies as like time well spent. And I wasn't doing it unless it was adding up to something that I had in my crosshairs.
But that goes back to you got better today. You played that today, you got better today.
But like but string bass doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, it actually does.
You can come play at Monroe's birthday party.
But like I'm not doing it for anyone but me. And so I'm like, who cares?
What's wrong with that?
Exactly.
But that was part of my thing. I was like, a lot of time makes choices because it affects other people or it impresses other people. This is only for me. And I'm like, so why are you doing it?
Were you playing on Instagram?
No.
I mean,
then don't create an issue. It's
no, but that's
awesome.
what I'm saying.
I've known you 15 years. I didn't know you did that.
Well, I mean, I'm outing myself now. With
you're
this.
Entitled to that time.
Why? But I was
as much as anyone else
But I was
is.
disqualifying it.
All I
is
knew
what
was
I'm
Luke
saying.
played the organ.
And, yeah, right. But I was like, so I just encourage people that are like,
I said no.
Well, the people that can't see where they're going, but find out where it's for. I don't even know what was happening over there.
Hurts.
I'm having a touching moment, and I'm gonna anchor us.
We're
here.
resisting.
How? Really?
Yeah.
No, but I think the ingredients to happiness are someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to. And I think that by playing the bass, you're starting to challenge yourself, and it could turn into one of those three things.
How long have you worked at Hallmark?
Good God. Yeah.
A little while.
On the side.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I think
when
it's
it
cool
goes
that
deep, we can leave it to Gunnar. He's going to lift it right back up out of the well.
Right.
It's never going to be too deep with the
He'll just
Gunnar.
keep pushing us into the smut puddle.
I'll start crying. I think it's so cool. You did an instrument. I literally bought a piano because I wanted to learn to play one song. Still have the piano. Still never learned to play one song. But at some point, I'm going to.
Okay.
It's in the car.
Maybe I'm your inspiration today.
Boom, 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 boom on your bass. Yeah, that's hot.
Okay, I'll pick a song and you learn it on piano.
No, I already know the song I want to play, and I want to play it for my wife. And
What's the name of the song? Oh, you're not revealing it.
I'll reveal. What am I? I'm not an open book. Yeah, I want to do "You Are So Beautiful" by Joe Cocker.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
See this side of him?
Hang on.
See? This is what
Very
I want people to
squishy.
know.
Hold on. I also know it's a super simple song. It's like
Don't do that.
It's a simple song, but when I love that song, and I remember thinking, I was at the time I was single, and I thought I want to get a piano. I should learn to play an instrument. My mom plays piano. I'll do that. And I took the kids out to Oxnard. We went to this giant warehouse piano thing in California, and I bought it and brought it home. And it's cool. What's cool is it has all the keys, not the keys, sorry, inside the chords, everything is silver, not gold. And I like that it matches our house better. So from an aesthetic standpoint, it works. But it's a parlor piano. It's a William Knabe parlor piano, size-wise. It's not a grand or a bit, whatever. But it's a cool size and shape. And that William Knabe was what Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner on. And that one is in the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. And it's literally upstairs, like pushed aside. And I remember seeing that going, he wrote the Star Spangled Banner on this. This should be like somewhere more, not that the Peabody's not important, but it should be showcased more better anyway. So I liked that it had that. And I just, actually someone gave me a thing of how to learn it. I was trying to do it from a book, which is super antiquated. Yeah. And then someone gave me, I want to say it was like a CD or something digital where you could play it. That's antiquated too. But either way.
Keep going.
I know. Hang on. We were back in the day. And I would still like to learn that. So I say all this to say, chapeau to you that you're doing that and you went back to that, especially if you did it and went back to it. Like that's cool. That's facing something. Well,
and also, and this is a controlling part of my personality. I learned everything on sheet music. So all of my 8 years of playing, I read the notes and I played what I saw. And Carrie's 100% teaching me to go by ear and feel. And so, which is for me, it's like no safety net on where I'm going. And he's trying to teach those mental mechanics about knowing where to go, trusting it. And even if you're hitting a wrong note, like I would hit a wrong note and be like, fuck. And he's like, play through the fuck. And that was my, like, keep playing through the fuck, just play through the mistake and just keep moving.
It's my life mantra.
But seriously, and I'm just breathing, and it's actually helping me because I'm working on a book. It's helped me become a better writer. It's helping me work through things with clients or relationships I'm in. I'm like, just keep playing. Just keep breathing and playing and picking up the notes and start at the top again. So it's been wild how I'm already seeing it translate into my life, but I don't know. But I'm still like nervous to play in front of people, but like I'm glad I'm doing it at least.
Yeah, it's also, that's not the one instrument that's going to do the whole jam, right? That's a piece of a. Yeah,
but the irony is that the bass is more felt than heard. It's such a low register that you're not playing melody. You're not there to stand out. And it's very different than my public facing life. Like, I'm usually louder. I'm interruptive. I'm this dynamic person in front of the room. Like, the bass allows me to have a back seat and focus on feeling than having to be out front as the star. So it's a very different energy level for me too.
I think any progress is good. Like, no matter what you do when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you got to be challenged, right? Maybe you know a fair bit about what you do as a career. The bass is something that's a little bit more something you got to work at, and so that progress feels good as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now that I'm working out in the mornings, 3 days a week.
I was about to ask you, 3 days over
3
at
days
Common Ground?
Week,
okay.
3 days a week. So I see him, first. And
he trains with Adam Dirks, strongman, and I think that might.
Adam was there today, right?
Yeah, that might be his hand. Like, he had 2 world records. Like, he's a beast.
He's a beast. But working out, it gives me a purpose to get up, get on in there. I'm not a get out of bed at 4:00 in the morning. Forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it.
I'm with you.
But you go in there and you see Gunnar sweating his tail off. Got his earbuds in, and you never know who he's talking to. But then you hear this beep, 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 and that's his little alarm going on. Next, because he's oriented about everything that he does has to be time oriented.
Terrified of losing.
I've never seen anyone as
OCD.
Call it. Yeah.
But I don't hide. It is what it is. Like, I'm not trying to change it. I don't mind being like that.
You are who you are.
I have friends that go, "Oh my God, another alarm." I go, "Shut the fuck up. What do you care how many alarms I set?"
You both set alarms.
Big time.
Both of you guys.
We're pretty successful, aren't we?
Team alarm.
It's working. Team alarm.
Well, we just fly by the seat of our pants.
That's right.
But we need people like you in our lives. 100%.
I
always say I'm like an oak tree. I'm pretty rigid, very grounded.
Actually, I wish I was more. That was me.
Yeah, but this is why we become. It's yin and yang. We need people of movement, and
because I'm a very impatient person as well, and that's one of the things that I have wished for so many years, that I could have more patience. But I'm like, come on, we got to get this done. Let's move on. But I am nowhere near as bad as Gunnar. Gunnar's off the charts bad.
But that's not common down here, right? Like, we're in the South, we're in Tennessee. I thought patience was kind of like in your DNA.
Oh, it is. I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter where you're from, where you live. I mean, it's a lot of it, my mother was a very patient person.
Well,
my dad was not patient. And so, you just, I don't know. You can call it DNA. You can call it the way that you were raised, as far as which parent you spent more time with. My dad and I were like best friends. So I naturally spent more time with him the older that I got. And, I saw how he went about things, and, up until the day that he died, or he went into the hospital, he worked. Mm-hmm. And he was 81, mm-hmm. and he worked every day. And when he wasn't working at his, tire and automotive shop, he was working on the farm. And so, that's something that keeps us going.
But how cool is that?
I'm afraid of that.
But how cool is that? That was your dad, and you have a tire shop and a farm, right? And a radio show.
What?
Yeah,
that's
See,
true. That's
true. That's where
That's why
it's getting good.
I saved it.
Which one you want to talk about?
Yeah.
All of the above.
A headliner radio. What?
Well, so
this is why you're so good on the mic.
I wouldn't call that. I call it a country voice that's trying to get through it.
Well,
fucking maple syrup.
So several years ago, I was asked to, as many business people are, they're asked to advertise. And so I, the local radio station there in Williamson County, it came to me and just, I felt it annoying at the time. I never would advertise with him. He came in one day and I just listen, I'll do it, but I want to own it. I want to own something. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I want to sponsor something that nobody else here has done. I want to do Athletes of the Week. I want to recognize Athletes of the Week. This has been about 16 years ago.
I was going to ask. Okay,
about 16 years ago. So fast forward, did that for many years. Had an opportunity to start doing it live. And so we started doing it live. And I have a co-host that is a sports writer there in Franklin. And so we have a live show on Monday nights. It goes through the entire school year. We bring the athletes in and the coaches in.
High school level?
High school level. And so
wow, what an exciting thing for them.
This summer, we were asked by a sports radio show, 104.5 The Zone, to do their high school football show on Friday nights. So we're doing that now. So on Friday nights through the football season, we do high school football, the wrap-up show.
Okay, wrap. You know, I really wish we had thought about this earlier. It would have been really fun to call your Tom because because he does Mondays and you're doing Fridays now. Something to think about.
Mm. So that's how the radio came in. It came in of wanting to recognize and going back to where both of my sons, played travel ball, basketball, travel ball, baseball, and went on. And my oldest son played college basketball, and so I realized then, and when I was coaching them young, when they were young, that the young people need recognition for the hard work that they do. It's hard enough to be a student, but when you tack on the athletic side of that, that's where it's lost. Because when you get into college and you play college ball, as you know, as a former college athlete, they pretty much are going to tell you what you're going to do and everything else. And I had someone ask me, I have some very good friends that are athletes. I was talking to one on the way up here, and he's at ESPN right now doing a college basketball thing. And somebody asked me about him because he was on our show a few times, and I'm like, listen, because I helped him get into radio, and I'm like, you're forgetting this guy that asked me that he sort of, I felt offended because I felt like he was picking on my friend. And I'm like, you're forgetting one thing. Athletes, when they get at the college level, they're pretty much told you are to win ball games. You're to get better at your sport. Forget about life. You're not going to learn anything about life. You're not going to learn how this works, how that works. You're just to show up, play ball, win ball games, and when the lights go off, they have no idea what to do. And I don't want to see young people fall into a trap. So I want them to recognize. So when we have them on our live show, it's amazing at how well-spoken these young people are. And that's, in my opinion, that's where it needs to begin. It was innocent. It's not innocent anymore, and that's a whole nother topic. But that's where it needs to be.
If you're a trainer looking to level up, grow your business, and actually connect with your clients, Train Heroic is the game changer that you need. I used it for years, and it was the first tech my clients actually enjoyed using. They showed up, logged the work, and I could coach them through every rep. Trusted by top coaches since 2012, plans start at just $10 a month. And you get your first 14 days for free. So head to trainheroic.com/the kids table to start your free trial now.
The loss of innocence, I heard Nick Saban say about this, one of the reasons behind him retiring was they went from hosting these events where they'd bring the parents in of all these players, telling them how they were going to develop their young boys into men and what they were going to do to them, but very rarely around football. It was around life and how they were going to become men and responsibilities and all that sort of stuff. And then they started to feel, his wife and he started to feel that it was always like, what are you going to do for my son, monetarily speaking? What is in it for my son to come to Alabama as opposed to go to Ohio State or whatever else? And that's when he goes, I'm done. We can't impact the lives with the impact that we want anymore. And obviously I'm paraphrasing, but
who's Nick Saban?
Nick Saban's like arguably the most successful college coach in history. And this is not my lane.
For what sport and at what
football,
university?
Alabama.
Okay.
And he had a stint in professional football, yeah. And I just found it really, really interesting because I'm from Australia, obviously. Yeah.
He was in the movie The Blind Side.
Yeah.
Just so you know, he had a cameo in that as himself. But
oh, got it. Okay.
yeah, so maybe that's something you can relate to, other than the fact that
I don't really follow football, and so I didn't know. Yeah.
in Alabama, Nick Saban's a god.
Okay.
He's on ESPN Game Day now.
Yeah.
And so you're saying he stopped coaching because he felt he couldn't
Look,
shift
I don't
the
want to
trajectory.
speak for Nick Saban, but what the interview I was watching was part of the reason was he didn't feel that he was impacting these young men's lives what he set out to impact them from.
Based on the promises he made his family. So why didn't he change his promises?
But in fairness, some of them are resisting that impact. They don't want to be impacted like that because they're coming in and their focus is not on how they're necessarily going to grow as men. It's how they're going to get paid because of the way the NIL deals are out there, which that's not a flaw. That's just reality.
Sure.
So they're looking at, I'm going to get paid. And
well, we're naive, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I worked when I went to University of Tennessee and I worked for the athletic department while I was there. And we're naive as a society to believe this hasn't gone on for years. I witnessed, athletes show up in sports cars, and then there were athletes that that showed up and didn't even have enough money to wear a sports coat for their photos. So it's gone on for many, many years. I mean, at every university. Why Nick Saban can't do that now is because it's viewed as a fast track to the NFL now with how everything has transitioned. Now, like I said, that's a whole nother topic of kids or athletes being paid. You take into one consideration, they're getting an education. I talk about this the other day? They're getting an education. The university is also turning around selling their jerseys with their names on it, and they're getting money on that. So there's got to be a happy medium somewhere. I don't know where that is. Nick Saban, like you said, Nick Saban got out because the game was changing. And it not necessarily the game of football, but how the world of athletics has changed.
And it's not that he couldn't succeed now. It's that he just didn't choose to change the way the game had changed and apply his energy to that. My oldest son, who graduated from Duke with a way higher GPA than I ever had, at one point when he was at Duke, he called me and he goes, "Dad, school," whatever he was talking about, school and the rigors of the academic side, and he goes, "You could never get into Duke now."
Specifically you okay.
Me.
Okay.
I said, "Hey, pump the brakes, little man."
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you mean with what I brought to the table as a student at that time in that era?
Mm-hmm.
Of course not. But there's a lot of guys who were in the NBA or the NFL when I was at Duke who couldn't make a team, who couldn't make a roster now, right? It evolves. The idea as a species is we're getting better. We should be getting better. We should be improving. And the point of entry, the ante, if you will, should be higher. But know that if I were an 18, 19-year-old applying for college and I see where the bar is set, trust that I'm the guy who's going to find a way to get in. How dare you underestimate me?
I actually agree more than you know. I agree with what you're saying right now. They talk about this all the time. Well, the rich just keep getting richer and the top 1%, mate. You go take away the top 1%'s money right now and distribute it around the world. I guarantee within 12 months that 1% have got it back, because there are certain things that you adapt towards. There are certain
lessons. Did you say certain?
Certain.
Okay, so just making sure. Thanks for being here, Mike.
So that's why you're safe here, Garth, because with my accent, mate, you're fine.
I said it earlier.
Yeah, it's fine.
Asshole.
It's fine. Yeah.
I said it earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to add a couple more words. But no, but it is what it is, and it's like I hate when people try and compare generations in sport. You're not comparing the same things.
Well, that's
it's not fair.
Sport. That's just an admission.
It's exactly the same thing.
No, but he's making the same point. And I was like, dude. But that's also the premise of Rocky Balboa.
Absolutely.
Right. And because they do that on sports all the time. Who would in this era, blah, blah, blah. Would that guy be able to fight Rocky? And then they do the exhibition fight and then it goes down for real.
100%. I would not make it in the career. I played rugby, Garth, professionally, but I would not make it now. Yeah, no shit. But give me the opportunity that they've got the resources. I'll freaking kill you guys.
You at your best doesn't go as far now as you at your best did at that time.
Exactly. And even stat-wise, comparison-wise, whatever, but put me on. And I think this is applicable to a whole heap of things in life. Same advantages, same disadvantages, same circumstances. Winners win. Simple as that.
Yeah, but I think that's exactly what's gotten us in trouble culturally. We talked earlier about where effort has gone, right? Where this integrity or customer service has gone. And you look in sports, like I'm thinking about my time at KU. Was I in a revenue sport? No. But when you look, I remember back vividly, and I spent 5 years there as an athlete. The entire basketball team was in there with tutors. Our football team was in there. Like, we were all really supported as people first. And we had, and by the way, our football team was not very good. So it's like they were not like celebrities on campus.
Is a basketball school.
But what people don't know is we're a basketball school and we were in the Final Four every single year. But our football made more money than our basketball ever did, just based on the number of people in the stadium. So what was interesting though is you said a win is a win, but I'm thinking, is winning what got us in trouble? Because now
I said winners win. I think it's a personality trait.
But still winners win. So now I look at KU and now I want to be like an undercover cop investigating what it's like now from 20 years ago when I graduated, because I think to be competitive as a university, now we're in the Big 12, we're still Division I, but do we have to make these concessions on how we treat the athletes and what we prioritize them for them as people and as kids to say, don't worry, we won't make you do all that extra boring stuff. We're just going to get you deals now.
Yes,
right?
You do.
I think because again, in my experience, if I dropped my GPA, if I didn't have enough credit hours, you were sat. There was no question about your eligibility, and there was no getting around it. And it was just known throughout campus, no matter what sport you were in. So to remain competitive, I think KU versus Alabama. My track coach actually was at Alabama for a while. He's and the culture was so different than at KU, and that was just 10 years after I graduated. So obviously a lot of time has passed, but I'm thinking, this is the way they remain competitive, because they're well, if Alabama's not doing it, well, then Michigan's not going to do it. Well, then, Colorado State won't do it, just so we can tell these athletes, don't worry, we'll get you through. We'll put you in this position. We'll get you a car too. Right? Is that
Garth made the point that it's been going on forever, and I do want to keep going with that, but it's so funny. I'm blocking on the name, freaking CTE. The comedian who's on Tires, he just did the ESPYs and he made fun of
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis. So Shane Gillis was on that ESPN lunchtime, whatever, with Pat McAfee show, and he's like, all right, Alabama Jones because like Saban had the hat on and he goes, oh, I thought this was a fun show. I thought we just acknowledged that everyone got paid. Like, what are you talking about? And Saban goes, how we paid people was like, we've got 60 something people in the NFL and that's how they got paid. He goes, what are you talking about? This is bullshit. You know, and he went on this rant and I'm like, I'm a foreigner, so this is new to me. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Was this actually going on the whole time? There were all these NIL deals. It just wasn't legal before, or is that what it was?
Brown paper bags.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
At Tennessee, they got caught doing brown paper bags, but I don't know what Alabama's choice was. I mean, who knows? But it went on.
Yeah, no, sure. I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. It
has gone on. It went on. Now it's just above the table and says, hey, here it is.
Yeah, but now I just feel like these athletes are soft. I'm like, wait, you all get a credit card paid by the university to eat wherever you want?
I don't mean to be the dumb, but sure. Who raises this money? Who distributes this money? Who pays for this stuff?
I'll pass that one to Garth.
You've got... I know in most cases, you've got a managing company that they're out basically raising the money for the deals to give, to distribute out. Now, from there, I'm not 100% sure to answer your question how it gets from point A
Donors.
to point B, but that management company has to give that... And from what I understand, the coaches manage how much money an individual gets. I believe that's but the managing company is who keeps up with it and who is out there raising the money.
A lot of the rules are changing now. So there was like managing companies that were helping, and basically coaches can have influence, but they cannot say, we want to give $20,000 to Luke Milton. They cannot say that. They're like, Jen Wiedersham's a walk-on. She needs more money. Let's give her that. They cannot dictate where the money goes, but they can say, hey, Luke is a really hard worker. Jen's a really hard worker too. Jen works a bit harder than Luke.
That's fascinating.
And that's a way of saying give Jen more money than Luke. So there are ways to dictate that. But now we're getting to the point where I actually don't think those rules are applying anymore. I thought
now it's just straight contracts.
Now, correct. It's straight contracts.
So Training Mate wants to give $10 million. Who decides where it goes? Can I just give that $10 million straight to Gunnar Peterson, or does it go to the school?
Because most of these kids have agents now.
100% they do.
Oh, that's where
that's between the agent and
so it's professional sports.
Correct. Yeah, that's where things started to get sticky. Oh, wow. So what happened is, and this is where I started getting involved at University of Kansas, because I was like, Wendy's was giving out deals to like women's like jumpers and pole vaulters that weren't like not even great athletes, but not notable from a standpoint of performance. Like they're not placing high in the Big 12 or in their region. They're just hot girls with Instagram accounts. Okay. And so
saying that's bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Wendy's is where we're saying, oh, Sarah, who pole jumps, it has blank amount. Nope. It's an event in track and field. Guys,
that's the real terminology.
Oh my God. Pole jumping. Yes. It's a real
pole
term.
Vaulting?
Yeah.
Pole jumps. Pole jumps.
Pole vault.
Pole vault. Oh. I always thought pole vault. Yeah.
It is pole
vault.
Pole
vault is very different to jumping on poles.
Well,
it's also different from
long jumping pole vault.
It's also different from pole dancing, which I think is where all of our minds
Man, that was really my mistake. Good job. I was like, Luke, I'm like, get it together.
Do you want another wine?
No, wine's empty. It's fine.
It's funny. I have a very good friend who owns a security company, and he does a lot of team sports. And he used to say that it's like you said, it's been happening for a long time, Paul. And I used to always say to him, because my alma mater, I used to go, not at Duke. And he used to lose his mind on that. And he doesn't have any specific cases, but he was always talking about that. And this is a guy who's self-described. He used to say, I have a PhD in getting hose out of hotel hallways.
Oh,
like he's a fixer. He fixes.
By the way, brilliant.
It was a great line.
That's such a vivid, like, yes.
He fixes problems. Like this one, he'd have to go to clubs. He'd have to do stuff just to make sure that the athletes didn't get in trouble. Or if they did get in trouble, he'd have to get them out of the trouble. And he's just a terrific guy. But he used to just say, okay. Like it's not going on. It's going on everywhere. So your story is corroborated by someone of knowledge. And it's just funny because
I never have thought about it the way you just referenced it, but I mean, okay, I'm not going to say that didn't happen either.
But he'd say that there were a ton of problems, and some of those problems happen because people facilitate the access to things, people, events, activities, whatever it is, and then those create new problems, and you've got to have a fixer. You've got to have someone to fix those problems, and that's also part of those deals. You know, you want guys to come out unscathed and without any smudges on their resume, right? Any stains, so that when they go forward in their professional careers, that they can command as much money and lucrative things. And you know, if they're kids, they are going to mess up. We all, I mean, I don't know about you guys, I messed up as a kid a few times.
Over and over for me. I mean, but unpopular question maybe. So Gunnar, you spent how many years in the NBA? In a way, don't you think these young athletes who are getting reps in making these mistakes and maybe with having fixers on board, getting quote holes out of hallways, like does that prepare them for their professional career even more?
Yeah, I think he was talking about doing it in the pros, but I think it exists. I don't know if that kind of stuff exists in college sports, but I'm saying
it does.
Yes.
I mean, I know that, but I'm not going to.
When I was going to school.
Right.
I have a different. I think when you start paying, and I'm not jumping on this is an American thing. I don't know enough about.
Are you not American now?
I am American,
right.
but I didn't
kick your ass right off this podcast.
I actually love America. I'm very patriotic. But
no, we saw by your jumper.
Yeah, my jumper.
He has a United States polo on.
Yeah, I love America.
If you call it a jumper, you're not American.
Well, I'm now American, but no, I really, this is hilarious because the college thing. How many kids are not going to make pros because they were subjected to the flaws that money brings?
No. Oh, I thought you meant because they got, I thought you were going to say, sorry, I jumped ahead. If they had a problem, because if they had a problem, it's that thing that talent wins out.
Yeah, sure.
If you still perform, you get wins, you're going pro.
If you
screw it up, we'll fix it.
Correct.
100%. My thing is like the get me out of whatever situation I'm in now, and that light at the end of that tunnel is the pros. But now objectively and by any other standard, a college athlete or a college career that can make $5, $6, $7, $8 million over 4 years, some of the stars obviously per year, but these guys are making like 7 figures per year as a college athlete.
Correct.
Do you lose the appetite for the professional sport?
No.
That's
because
that's the pinnacle.
Because there are enough guys in the pros that say, dude, that's the appetizer.
And also here's the other thing too. As a walk-on that was never going to go pro, like I did really well.
I actually love your story.
And again, non-revenue sport. I realize no one's sponsoring hammer throwers, but play the game here.
If they're hot.
Well, actually, it's true. It's actually true.
To your point.
So to my point, I knew my years to make money would have been in college. And there was a plenty of guys at KU. Let's go back to basketball, which was a revenue sport or is currently. A lot of our sixth man, seventh man, or people that were in our starting lineup that would never make it pro.
Correct.
They could make really good money in college and set up their future.
Look at this
So
flip.
to me, it's like, this is actually an exceptional time to get your shit together, knowing that NBA isn't guaranteed.
There are women at your college now not throwing as well as you threw. And if they're hot, they could make more.
Well, there's no hotter hammer throwers than me at KU.
Whatever.
No, but keep going.
I'm saying they could make more money on an NIL deal throughout the course than you could make in a TV deal.
This is why I love America.
Yeah.
This doesn't exist anywhere else in the world.
If they're using their name, image, and likeness, and what they're doing from a performance perspective isn't in contrast with who they are and feels good for them, make the money.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
no, I say make it, but I'm saying think about that. You can do your college career, outperform them, work in your field to a level where you're brought into a network on a show, paid whatever you're paid, which by many standards is like, holy shit, she's making a ton of money. And those girls can be hot, wear the booty shorts, throw the hammer, not as well as you did, and get paid more.
Yeah, but that ends in 4 years of eligibility, right?
But a good 4 years sets you up for a decent life.
It depends what kind of a spender you are.
Correct.
There's a lot of variables here, but cool.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I'm just saying it's wild to think, what path am I going to go for? Am I going to...
Well, if they're smart, they go for both.
Yeah.
No, yeah, of course.
But this
a
is
lot
why
of them don't have that foresight, and they go, "I'm just doing this. I got it."
Yeah.
But
this is why I'm so pro America. I love this place so much because it's such a commercial juggernaut, mate. It's so big. I was actually really good at what I did, right? And I got paid a freaking hot dog and a Diet Coke for my career in professional sports, right? I get on a show.
No bun.
Yeah, no, but I do get on a show.
He just likes the meat.
Bun. Yeah, well, it wasn't that good.
Luke's been very vocal. He only wants the meat.
Yeah, well, that's hilarious. But it's...
How condescending.
No, but then I get on a show with Gunnar and I end up making 10x, ironically, from Australian companies that wanted the access to America. I'm like, I don't know what you think or who you think I am, but the perception of America, the gravitas of America, it is the most unique economy in the world. I don't care what anyone says. I think it's so unfair, the shit that gets put on America, because it doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. I love this place. There's a great quote with
Martin Short, and he goes, the rest of we watch TV. Americans watch TV. The rest of the world is watching American television. It's it's separated.
I think Americans are just mass consumers.
I know, but I'm saying they literally assign, that's American TV. It's just a different level.
Yeah.
Is Martin Short Canadian?
Mm-hmm.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. He's hilarious.
He's impressive there, Gunnar.
Yeah.
Wow. I told you were overeducated.
On trivia.
Yeah. Duke's finally paying off on a podcast here.
Yes.
I learned that at Duke.
Any kind of final fun thoughts you want to pull out of Garth as we wrap this up?
No, I want to say, Garth, let me throw this at you. If you had to decide, which you don't, and you definitely don't now, do you go on the career path of pushing the radio show till it becomes some kind of a juggernaut high school football oracle and take it nationwide and start doing all that? Or do you like the fact that it's contained, quantifiable, regional, or are there aspirations, goals to have that shit blow up?
It's a good question. I mean, I honestly haven't thought about that.
That's some bullshit right there. You had to have thought. You have to think. You have to come out of it.
Let the man finish his sentence.
You have to come out of the studio sometimes and go, God, we killed that tonight. I wish we could do more. I wish we could do bigger. Or you go like this. I just love how peaceful it is. I can leave the studio.
So in the entertainment world, let's be real about that. In the entertainment world, most of your entertainers, and when you talk about radio and whatnot, your sports personalities, they've got a career that backs up and gives them the creed for what they're talking about. I'm just an individual that has been very observant and wants to put recognition.
Tell me what kind of an athlete Stephen A. Smith was. And he's brilliant at his job.
Yeah, but he's been doing it. He was given an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, but you've been doing this 16 years.
Yeah, but not on the landscape of
doesn't matter.
Regional radio show. Would I love to see it expand? Heck yeah.
Okay, because some people would say, no.
I love giving the young people the recognition.
Me too. I would say
that's where it goes.
I could see that. That would do it for me. Like you said, think of those kids coming on the show. That must be such a shine for them. Like, I get to go on the show.
Yeah,
I mean, expanding it from Franklin to a national level recognition of athlete of the week, and you could pick a region, like one kid per region, offensive and defensive player. Like,
if you could get,
how exciting!
If you could get,
it's a lot of football you got to watch.
Businesses and whatnot to latch on to that, and then it's just a networking thing, is all it is. I mean, for other people to understand the importance of what young people are doing in today's. Mm-hmm. All we are doing is building the blocks for when we get older. Because if we don't now, we're going to be back to what we were talking about earlier. When has it changed? We're on the point of it being influential at this point in time because the audience is listening. We haven't been there in the past. And if we don't continue to get better at that, then we're going to revert right back to it again because it'll be a generation lost. And that's what I don't want to see happen. Now, can that happen through a regional, radio show, I don't know.
Well, everything has to start somewhere.
But it's got to start somewhere, and it has to start with our young people.
I got to be honest. That's part of the reason we're doing this podcast, and I think why we were so interested in having you as a guest. Like, I don't think you have to have like 10 million followers and be this a big celebrity to be a guest. Like, we want to talk to interesting people that are doing really big things. You're doing really big things, and I think.
Well, I'm honored. I'm honored. I just don't. I don't look at it that way. But that's I'm honored that you say that. I'm Gunnar. I'm honored that you asked me, and all of you all asked me to be here. But we've got to simplify things.
But you're doing something good. Mm-hmm. You're promoting. I don't want to say from the bottom or low, but they are on the football continuum. They are on this side, working towards this side, and you're just like helping them get over. And you might shine a light on them, and then who knows? Some guy from a college hears about it. They've never heard of that kid, and they take a look at him. He was never on their radar. That kid was never on that radar, right. And all of a sudden he's getting recruited by. Somebody who's not a quitter like Nick Saban, and going like that, and he gets pulled to a school that was a joke about Nick Saban. My God,
I got it. No, but you're saying
but you know what I'm saying. But I have to, when I get too deep, I have to throw levity in because I don't want to start crying. But all of a sudden, you shine a light on someone who might not have ever been seen by somebody else, who then takes an interest in him or takes a look at him and then takes an interest in all the stages, and then he goes somewhere, and that changes his life, and that changes the trajectory of his career, which changes how his family lives. And it's just cool. The whole thing is cool, Garth. I love that you do it. I love that it's grassroots, but it's kind of not, because it's pushing stuff. It's putting light on stuff that might not get light.
Totally.
It's very cool.
Well, I'm very appreciative of that.
Where can we listen to your show?
So the Monday night show, which is the Williamson County show.
Okay.
That's the live. We have them in a sports bar there in Franklin. That's on 2 podcasts. That's on the Gateway Tire and Service Center Facebook page, and then that's on the Williamson Herald Facebook page, and plus we have podcasts. The Friday night show, which is on 104.5 The Zone. That's live from 9 to 11 because that's a wrap-up show. Great. And then it's also on there. It's also on 104.5 The Zone's podcast. Shout out to 104.5 The Zone. Shout out to Williamson Herald. We'll get all those links from you. And guys, we'll put it in the show notes. So if you guys want to hear Garth do his thing on voice. Monday and Friday nights. I said this earlier. My co-host, he has to keep up with all of it because that's his job. I just keep it real. I keep it to where that you try to add a little bit of entertainment to it, because we have interviewed athletes, and I don't mean to go off on another tangent, but we have interviewed athletes before where they're scared to death. Mm. My co-host is asking questions and they're scared to death, and I'll just stop it. I'll just stop it right there, and I will go and I say, okay, I'm going to put the ball on the tee for you. And we're going to take it step by step, and we have fun with it. And we take it completely off a performance level, and we just talk about something completely off the wall so that they feel comfortable in the environment that they're in.
So that's the entertainment, and there's a natural nexus between athletics and entertainment. I wrote a whole thing on this when I was trying to do a gym in LA. I was going to call it the playground. I said it's the nexus of sports and the entertainment industry. And I think actually Bruce Jenner, not to dead name someone, but back in the day it was Bruce Jenner when he said it to me, said athletes want to be entertainers and entertainers want to be athletes. And that at the end of the day, the actors know what the athletes do is real and quantifiable, and the athletes know that what the others do is pretend, but it's a make-believe thing, and they can immerse themselves in that. And he said it more eloquently than that, but there is a thing where those two worlds collide, and there's some magic that happens there. I mean, that was sort of the way. Just there was a natural evolution in my first gym and my second gym where that was just that crossroads, and it was so fun to watch and to make the introductions and then just sit back and watch what happened. And That's cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So your show, your radio show, you have the athlete, and then you bring some kind of entertainment to it, and then there's magic there, and that's cool.
And there's a level of like media training that you're offering these kids too, actually.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's the
neat.
point to where, because I mean, we've got athletes that we've recognized that are in pro sports now, and some that are in college sports, and so it's literally, some of them have been on the show multiple times in one season.
Oh, that's fun. So then you've got like an ongoing relationship. You've seen him through his high school
cool.
career.
Right.
He's coming back and again. Mm-hmm. And there's something with that. I have a good friend of mine. His name's John Mason. He does all the announcing for World Aquatics. And he's part of what's been so special. That was an unexpected kind of this added kind of nourishing moment in the relationships. You have these swimmers that are coming through year after year in these world championships, and John's at all these events. So he knows their swim times, and he knows their records, and he knows their relationships. And so when they break a world record, when they become a gold medalist, when it's an Olympic year, John is the one that's waiting outside the pool for them. And instead of interviewing with NBC or whoever, they're like, John. And they're like, because he's been with them for 3 years, just like you've been with these kids for that. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Because the Monday night show, that's recognizing females, that's recognizing every sport. That's not just football. So we get an opportunity to give young people that are in I call it non-traditional sports. Now we have girls flag football, which is huge. Mm-hmm. Girls volleyball, girls, soccer, a lot of those sports. Neat. So we get to, track. One of the things you said earlier, about the shot put or that you did.
Oh, yeah.
Even though shot put is not looked at an individual sport that gets all of this glory, but a track team can win the entire team title because of shot put as well.
I mean, we won Big 12s because of our throws, period.
Exactly. So it all goes hand in hand.
That's amazing.
You just give all types of different young people from different types of worlds that come together for one common goal.
One shout out will carry someone for years.
Yes.
No, I agree with that.
That's amazing.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. So,
shout out to Garth, and we're going to be here. We may be filming in other places, but just know, Garth, you always have a seat at the kids' table.
Thank you all. I appreciate that.
Thanks, mate.
Love you, man.
Thank you very much. Love y'all. Thank you.
Well, that's it. That's the show. You're welcome. And we're sorry.
Don't forget to hydrate, lift heavy, and maybe call your mum. Actually, after listening to the three of us, maybe call the priest.
Please like and subscribe and comment, even if you only mildly enjoyed yourself. We'll see you next week.